this is an example of what not to do. And this goes to what I was talking about with blind data mining. This is an example of seeing an effect in data and then trying to work backwards and create a research study based on data and make assumptions and correlations that are just not there, right? So this paper, which was published, found that female named hurricanes are they create 3 times more damage than male named hurricanes. Okay, well, that's just ludicrous, right? And actually, there were not male named hurricanes until 1979. But what someone did was they saw this interesting data and decided, hey, I'll turn that into an article, and made leaps and assumptions that just were not there. So that's why you have to go theory, hypothesis, test. Even if it's social sciences. People often think social sciences isn't the hard sciences, therefore you can get more leeway. No, it still has to be sound research. Some of the most frequent grammar mistakes that I see with students that are not English native speakers, commas. And these are just some funny examples of, we say here commas are life or death, right? Because you can see the let's eat grandma, which is like, oh no, poor grandma, you're eating grandma for dinner. Whereas if you have the comma, it's let's eat grandma, come on, let's go eat. And another famous one here is the panda shoots and leaves, right? And you can see the serial commas, right? And the Oxford comma is very debated, but usually you use an Oxford comma, which is a comma before and before, in a series of items. And so here you can see in the first one, the panda comes in, he shoots, and then he leaves. He eats, and then he shoots, and then he leaves. Well, without the commas, it's actually supposed to be the panda eats, shoots, and leaves, right? Can make a big difference. Another really common mistake, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but it's just because you're transitioning between languages, is active versus passive voice. And active voice is very concise, whereas passive voice is you're putting the action on something else. And you can see in my example, it's like if McDonald's, their slogan is, I'm loving it, right? It's very active. Passive voice example would be, it is being loved by me, which doesn't sound as sharp or snappy, and it's not as concise. And you can see it also in my other example, wild penguins attacked my sister, or my sister was attacked by wild penguins. And this is very common in social sciences research. And for some reason, people seem to think that passive voice makes them sound smarter, but it really doesn't. If you can use fewer words to say the same thing, then you should, because people just don't have time to read a research article that's very wordy. And then also, finally, another grammar error, dead words, like the word a lot. Well, first of all, the word a lot is 2 words. It's not 1 word. And second, these words add no value, right? They are not descriptive. They add no value to, you can say, I had many respondents. Okay, well, how many respondents? How many participants? That's too vague, it's too ambiguous. The survey participants said that they like, eating sushi. Okay, well, what does that mean? Like can mean a million different things, and it's very ambiguous. So there are numerous what we call dead words that we tried to avoid. And said is another one, right? If you're doing a focus group, you don't really want to say, respondent A said. Okay, well, you can say stated, you can say they pronounced, any other word to add value to what they said, rather than making it kind of a throwaway, hey, this is what my focus group said. And then finally, the last grammar error that is very noticeable, particularly when people are switching languages, is the use of indefinite articles. And the difference is an indefinite article is more non-specific, right? A thief came and stole this, or a respondent said this. Whereas a definite article is the. And another thing that people get confused with is a and an. An is usually precedes a word that starts with a vowel. However, there are some words that break that rule, and particularly it's usually words that start with the letter H. So it can be very complicated, very confusing, but I noticed that a lot of times non-native English speakers just don't even use articles. And then if they do, they use the incorrect one.